My name is Jeremiah Sanders, and I have recently been transferred to the Euclid sector of the SCP Foundation. I used to be one of the guards of the safe sector. Throughout the building's large interior, there are three sectors. The safe sector, where I used to guard SCP-860, the Euclid sector, where I am stationed now, and the Keter sector. The reason I was transferred to the Euclid sector, besides the promotion, was because a new guard was hired to look after SCP-860. Recently there was a containment breach. It has been controlled now, but I can say it was one of the worst and most horrifying experiences of my life. I was in training for how to guard the SCP I am now in charge of guarding, SCP-049. I was being taught how to transport him. I successfully sedated him. We were then able to make entry to his room and prepare him for transport. When he was strapped and ready for transport, the door to his room opened and we wheeled him out of the room. As we exited his room, the door behind us shut. SCP-049 awoke from his sedation, which is not normal at all. Sedation should last long after the subject has been transported. He woke from his sedation and let out a deep chuckle. He broke through the restraints and broke the neck of one of the guards opposite of me. I pulled out my 9mm pistol and began firing at the plague doctor. The bullets had zero effect on him. I dashed to the panel that controls his room and slammed the red button, which meant containment breach. All doors in the facility slammed shut. Alarms blared throughout the sector. Before I could turn around to examine the situation, I was struck unconscious. I awoke minutes later in a daze. I was inside the plague doctor's room. He was at his metal table inside his room, with the body of the guard he had killed. He had been operating on the guard. I had been instructed what to do if this ever happened. I got up and immediately became aware of my surroundings. I approached the doctor with calmness and interest. The doctor began to talk to me. I apologized to him for taking shots at him, and he gracefully accepted. The guard was beyond dead at this point. The doctor had already begun experimenting on him. He took a syringe from the table and injected into the neck of the dead guard. I asked him what experiment he was performing on the body. "You should already know this, Jeremiah. I know you have been instructed what to do," he said in a low voice. A chill ran down upon my spine as the words that had just come out of his mouth had proceeded in my mind. He placed the syringe back down and began talking more. He picked up a scalpel and began to cut open the stomach of the body. The body had internally started to decay rapidly. Large red bumps began to slowly appear on the visible parts of the body. The tips of its fingers began to turn black. All of these except the internal decay were signs of the bubonic plague. The eyes on the guard opened. They appeared to be bloodshot red. The doctor continued to speak and stitched the guard back up. As the now somehow alive guard sat up, the doctor chuckled. "In my instructions course, this is one of the final stages of what happens during the experiments. The body will become alive again and will be under full control of the doctor." Armed guards were seen throughout the window rushing down the hall towards the room. Scientists and specialists were accompanying them. They all arrived at the room and SCP-049 main specialists began to talk over the microphone. The incident has happened before, so they are fully aware what to do. The specialist instructed the doctor to finish his experiment quickly and eliminate the subject. The plague doctor said, "I have heard the speech before. I know what to do, and I know what I must do now." The doctor took out a second syringe full of black liquid. Instead of a gray one he used to influence the body with his experiments. He injected the black liquid into the body and it fell back, once again lifeless. The specialist instructed the doctor to stay away from me and walk across the room. A gas entered through the ceiling vents and we both quickly fell to the guard unconscious. I woke in the medical bed of the hospital section in the SCP Foundation. The nurse walked over to me and told me I was fine. The sedation gas was merely so nobody got hurt and we could take me out safely. I was told to put my equipment back on and return to my station. The specialist was waiting for me there. He told me not enough sedation was used. You hold the yellow button for 5 seconds to release the appropriate amount of sedation gas. I only held it for 3. It told me not to feel bad because someone dies at least once every 2 weeks due to a mistake. He finished instructing me about everything that was left and I was to return back to my post. I looked through the glass to see the doctor staring directly at me. I was told not to make conversation or any sort of connection with him. I went home later that night and was still shaking from what happened. To be honest, I miss guarding the safe sector. SCP-049 is intelligent and unpredictable. He is one of the most dangerous SCPs. We are very lucky he decided to do another experiment and not try to escape the facility. That is the closest encounter with death I have ever had. This job will only get tougher and I'm dreading the day I'm moved to the cheater section. Thank you everyone for listening to the story that was written by an amazing author linked down below via his Instagram. Please check him out and give him a follow and support him for amazing art that he did for this channel. Also, never underestimate the power of the Plague Doctor, or also known as SCP-049. I should know for a fact, we have met on several encounters, and I should say he is one of my best foes and friends. Hopefully one day he will change his mind and free himself of these experiments and SCP Foundation. I believe the day will come and I will be ready to meet him again. Always take care, please subscribe and follow the channel, and if you enjoyed this story, leave a like down below and also comment on what other stories do you want me to cover. And please leave the suggestions in the comments, not saying on the Instagram. And please follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Although the Facebook page is currently not active, but Twitter and Instagram is active and you can interact with me. Thank you everyone, and this is another story by Dr. Grimm. Hello everyone, thank you for listening to this amazing story written by an amazing author called Alex. His Instagram will be listed below. Please follow him and give him love and support. Also, this amazing and astonishing animation was done by a great friend of this channel, a cult friend. His YouTube channel and Instagram will be linked down below. Please subscribe and leave a like. Until next time, Dr. Grimm out.